没有走完的路不会是终点，故事的走向是自己选择的坚持。
这个故事的开头还算不错，相信过程，相信自己走过的路。
那些最激动人心的冒险，从来不是单枪匹马的挑战。
과거는 잊으세요. 내일이 새로운 시작입니다. 내 경기가 새로운 도전입니다.
我们愿意为胜利付出许多代价，改变只是其中之一。
어떤 사람이든 현재에 만족하지 않고 어떠한 사람이든 제자리 걸음을 하지 않는다.
过去的荣耀就存留在记忆中，这一抹红色要照亮未来。
为之付出的心血越多，收获的果实才越甘甜。
赛场上的事怎能尽如人意？我只想追求无愧于心。
保持微笑，胜利总会专顾你。
在尝过赢得一切的滋味之后，你绝对不会甘心做第二名。
尖矛和利刃是勇者的武器，也有最坚硬的盾和扬起风帆的大旗。
如果翻不过这座山， 他们就听不到你的故事。
这个故事的结局将由我们来谱写。为了无悔，为了胜利，为了站在世界这边。
Before arriving here in the Shanghai Super Mall Arena, we took a quick detour over to Chongqing, where the Snake Pit claimed victory once again against LG, who traveled all the way to the west from Hangzhou, which is not too far away from Shanghai, so they might be able to make it down here for the match itself. Today, we have 2 more matches of cross-conference to be played from this arena. There's plenty of fruit to go around. Watermelon is in season here, so is mangosteen, and everything is absolutely delicious. Doritos being thrown up in the air, is being crunched as well, so spam them in the Twitch chat. So we're about to get started with the second and third match of today. Not going to see any big heavy hitters just yet, but we are going to start with Invictus Gaming taking on FunPlus Phoenix. I'm Matthew Stewart. Joining me is Raz once again after our quick little 20-minute break. How do you feel after that break, Raz? Nice and refreshed, ready to go?
Refreshed, 100%. I had myself some Doritos. I'm lying, by the way.
Did you get any fruit?
No.
Why not?
I'm not a healthy man.
Okay, Raz is not healthy and he's a liar. That's what's been confirmed so far. We're going to get straight into this second match that we have here today, because we already watched Snake take on LGD earlier today. Now, IG taking on FPX. Where do you want to start this, Raz?
Ooh. I want to start a little bit with FPX, just a tiny bit, because we get to the big piece of the pie later on.
Which is IG?
Yes.
Why are they the bigger piece?
They're the Rift Rivals representative. They did fairly well there. So, I mean, there's so much to talk about with Invictus Gaming, but people have forgotten about FPX, because FPX was a team that should have been doing quite well this time around. I mean, a lot of the expectation was they had Cool brought into the later portions of the split. You know, this time around, they already have him. A lot of scrim practice, time with the team that should look a lot better. That hasn't been the case.
No.
In fact, bringing in a new jungler for themselves, that has been an added barrier to the problem. Because remember, Pepper moved over to WE, you bring in Sinyi, and then Sinyi has needed time to mesh with the team, find out what lane to play towards, because there are a lot of options and it hasn't been working out very well for them.
Because theoretically, the swap was good for not only FPX, but as well as W, where we saw Pepper move on to, because W is a slow playing team. Pepper was a very fast, aggressive jungler, but when he joined, when Cool joined the roster of FPX, he started to taper back a bit, started to be a little bit more passive himself, play towards the later stages of the game. So when he went to W, it's like, okay, now it makes sense. He has that aggression which he unlocked during his first half of the spring split with FPX. Now he can use that tapered control style of jungling that he learnt when Cool joined the roster. And Singy was meant to be a big plus for them as well, being that little bit more controlled himself. But just they haven't been able to mesh together, and Cool hasn't been able to bring that experience to band FPX together as much as they would have liked.
Yeah, and ultimately a lot of their games are won or lost by the slightest of margins. So it comes down to the fact that they're not getting blown out by any regards. It's really early on in the split, so these problems are essentially getting their jungler online with them, which is interesting because I think that they should just have Shinyi in the roster, play it game after game, learn slowly with the team, but it seems like the way they've gone about it is that they brought in 2 sub members as well. Septid is coming in from the Turkish region, but ultimately he's a Korean player, known for Ever 8 winners, I believe. And then also bringing in an LMS jungler, Alex, from formerly of J Team. So they've decided, rather than going the long run with this current lineup, that they're going to have insurance policies for if an individual plays poorly, they have someone up to take that position.
Which is scary because cross-conference is the time to try and solidify your position on the table and fight for a playoff spot or a top finish in your own conference. Whereas for the FPX, they've really been struggling. They were trying to rebrand during Spring Split, bringing in Cool. We thought was a good addition. We thought that would help them out throughout the break they got during Rift Rivals as well as MSI. Hasn't been the case so far. They haven't been able to solidify their playstyle or the way they're going to mesh well together, which is very scary, especially since Summer Split's the time where you're meant to hammer it home, make your Worlds run, make your top 4 run in the LPL potentially, but we'll keep track of them because cross-conference is a good time for them to try and pick up those points. If things are working out, they will be able to, but their opponents are no easy team to face off against. It's Invictus Gaming, one of the top 4 in the LPL that represented the LPL at Rift Rivals.
Exactly, and for a good reason they're the top 4. This is a team that during the spring season, historic run, they only really lost that one series versus Orange.
And then playoffs as well, but we don't talk about
We're
that,
talking
right?
about this season, all right?
Okay.
They go in towards the playoffs, and obviously that's a demon in and of itself. But this roster is very strong. So going up against IG, there's a real question of where does IG really place? Are they a 4th place team because they were the 4th seed in Rift Rivals? A lot of people say, hell no. It was Rogue Warriors that were the worst team, but it was how they finished in playoffs is how they placed in Rift Rivals. But if you ask me where Invictus Gaming place, I would say that they're a top 2 team in the league. They just need to run their core members. The Shy is someone we need to see being run more often, and I think that's where we start to see the true Invictus Gaming.
And we also get to see the Shy play alongside someone like Rookie. Even though Duke's been playing a little bit more for IG, the main spotlight always falls towards the mid laner. He's up against Cool. These are 2 veterans from the side of Invictus Gaming. Even FPX bring in Cool in the latter half of Spring Split.
Yeah, so both of these members are going to be the core of the lineup. Looking towards the matchup between both of them, real fun to watch. Rookie has been obviously getting much better. First place in CS difference at 10 is something that we always talk about in Invictus Gaming's playstyle. Win hard early on in the game, and they've been going real true with that. When it comes towards Cool, historically career kills matter. 3rd place because he has a very long, lengthy career, but this split hasn't been a strong one for him.
No, has not so far, but he's just started this year with FPS. Latter half of spring, now playing throughout. Some up against Rookie, no easy task. I mean, he's performed so well at Rift Rivals, he's looking to continue his dominance, moving back into cross-conference here in the LPL. We have to keep track of how these 2 mid laners face off against one another. But for IG, they had some hiccups here and there, but still look like a very strong team coming back into the Summer Splits.
Yes, they have. And so Invictus Gaming immediately, this team, you would expect to be focusing on the playoff performance, looking past the regular season, because regular season, they can get to playoffs easy peasy, even though they're in the Eastern Conference. Their focus is once they get towards playoffs, that they can hit it home, that they're a team that can clinch it in a best of 5.
If they can. I mean, we'll have to see if they can do this move towards playoffs. But for now, they need to pick up as much points as possible. FPX not doing too well on the ladder at the moment. IG sitting at 5-1. They've got some big matches ahead of them throughout cross-conference. Anyone that's lower than them on the standings from the opposite conference should be free points for them. And that's how they should take these matches. Try and pick up as many points as they possibly can. Their lineup's going to be the Shy, Ning, Rookie, Jackulov, as well as Baolan.
Yeah, putting the Shy back into the lineup, this is what Invictus Gaming should be from this point forward. We'll have to see if that shakes up that way.
Whereas for FPX is Gimgoon, Alex, Cool, LWX, as well as Chris.
Remember, J-Team jungler from the LMS, Alex being brought in, strong mechanically. And we'll have to see if he can mesh with the team.
And even though he's been brought in recently for the side of FPX, this is a roster that has a ton of experience when it comes to the players, the individual players of the team. Yes, they're a new formed squad, a lot of them still trying to mesh together, but both sides, lots of experience in the LPL and in professional play.
Yeah, the experience between the both of them is something to look towards because Invictus Gaming is a fairly young team. So when you look towards IG, immediately what catches you is the fact that they have, top lane, jungle, bottom lane. This is all counting the Shy being well below 2 years of experience. While FPX, I would say FPX immediately a fairly well-tuned roster. Immediately what calls out to you is the Cool having 6 years of competitive experience. Immediately top lane, Gimgoon, not a lot of people talk about him, but he's been around the league for quite some time, 5 years, 4.5 to be exact. So combined years, 15. That's a lot.
Yep.
And the people that have been really introduced to the scene, Xingyi, LWX, and Crisp, have been there for about 1.5. I mean, that's a little bit,
but they're no rookies.
Exactly. It's been here for more than a season. Can't say the same for Invictus Gaming. That's where my criticisms lie towards IG.
Because we can look towards Rookie and be like, okay, Rookie's been a staple mid laner in the LPL for quite some time now. He's been a staple League of Legends player for a long time as well. But for the rest of the roster, not as much.
And so the Shy has had his moments last year where you can tell the spotlight really affected him and his performance in playoffs. When he's supposed to be team fighting a lot more effectively, he falls off. Same questions towards Jackie Love. In pressure situation going up against Uzi, falls. So this team, while behind so many questions, because they're known as a fantastic early game team, but really when you're supposed to come from behind or when you're in those pressure situations and the crowd is coming at you, that's where Invictus Gaming have problems. And even if they were to be sent internationally, obviously the crowd, the audience, the fans still want those questions answered.
And we've seen Jackie Love's been vocal about that after their loss to RNG and eventually their loss in the 3rd, 4th place match during Spring Split to Rogue Warriors, but how it did affect him. He is a younger player, well known as a streamer before he joined Invictus Gaming, but that's not the only AD carry that's played IG in that same sense. West had the same story last Split in summer when they were trying to make their Worlds run, and it's even affecting their veteran of Rookie. 5 years of experience, but even the loss to RNG got to him, which is a big, shaky trouble for Invictus Gaming.
Yeah, so ultimately the answer to resolve this isn't an easy one. It's you got to put them on the roster. You have to put them in these games so they can have the experience, have these games that they're having right now.
Well, they're up against FPX. We're going to get into the match shortly, so let's send it over to our casters.
我凤凰的精神就是不畏挑战，燃烧青春。
Thank you, Mr. Fish. I'm going to be on the desk for this one. My name is Pulse. This guy's Rusty, looking dapper today, actually looking very Australian. How Australian do you feel today, Rusty?
I actually, I can't feel more Australian than I already am, but I've been speaking in more Australian terms than normal for no apparent reason, so I guess the answer is a lot.
Crikey.
Really.
Gonna have to see if we can get some of those terms out in game. I expect to hear them, Mr. Rusty, as we get into Champions Select here between FPX and Invictus Gaming. Now, Invictus Gaming have a lot to prove here today in this best of 3 after their performance at Rift Rivals, so we'll see if they can start here.
Yeah, IG and EDG, two from Rift Rivals that may have something to prove for their playoffs performance, but they were still the teams that were getting wins in the regular round robin, or I guess the group stages of that Rift Rivals tournament. They took out a couple of strong teams while they were there, so it is to be noted that IG still have what it takes. The Shy's only just joined them once again from that existing injury last split. So this is an exciting time for us. You'll see the draft come through. You would expect that he gets to play carries in the top lane and does what he always does.
You'd think so. There is a possibility he takes Camille to the Rift right here, as it has just been locked in by Invictus Gaming. They're going to ban out the Trundle, Swain, and Nocturne. On the opposite side, FPX will remove the Talia, Irelia, and Aatrox, while they'll lock in a first pick, Kled, followed by Sejuani in the jungle.
Yeah, that's an interesting one. So Gimgoon is the Kled god of old. He was the first person to really bring that about. It wasn't meta when he played it, but he made it meta for his teams of old. So that's exciting to see. Kled's starting to crop up. He's going to jump straight on that bandwagon ASAP.
Immediately. I was half expecting him to take it to the mid lane, honestly, but Cool could also do that if he wanted to. What's originating from the old Doinby in the mid lane there in Rift Rivals and beyond. Invictus Gaming will pick up their Galio right here, plus a Shen. So a couple flex picks on their way from Invictus Gaming.
Yeah, we've absolutely rocketed through this draft, Pulse. We haven't had a chance to think about it, and immediately the first 3 champions apiece are going to be locked in and secured for both respective teams. And that to me says that they've got a game plan. They've been really cooking this one up for a while, and we'll get to see first and foremost what IG played at Rift Rivals again, the Galio-Camille combo that we know and we love, and we get to see a couple of awesome picks for the side of FPX. Rakan for Crisp is one that can't go unnoticed because he's a very good Rakan player.
They definitely do have a plan, and by Jove, they're going to stick to it right here. As you said, Rakan picked up for Crisp right here. FPX will remove the part of the bounty bottom lane, including the Draven, plus the Lucian coming out there as well from FPX. Xayah removed from LWX, so really just hitting hard at those AD carries. Now, last time we actually saw the Draven come out from JackeyLove, I remember the gauntlet was thrown over in Beijing when he was taking on Uzi. Now, Uzi picked up the vein and said, just kidding, I'm going to the top lane to screw your Mundo.
Yes,
so, didn't go so well for him, but we'll see how he does in this game without it. Vladimir will be the final ban from Invictus.
And you would expect JackeyLove, one of those players that does want to pick the ADs, and with all of those banned from him, including the one that they banned of the Xayah, I wouldn't be surprised to see LWX take the Ezreal and throw the gauntlet down. So what are you going to play in that AD carry position? When firstly I have a Rakan, and secondly my AD carry is safe regardless, and it may be the only good one left that he really wants to pick.
Well, what's in the gauntlet? Looks like it's an Ezreal right here. So maybe a little flashbacks there from JackeyLove, the Uzi pick of old, even though he'll just pick it no matter what the meta is. Invictus game back over to them. Looking toward perhaps their bottom lane, could be like a Morgana or a Shen going down there, giving the Shy a carry. Lots of opportunities here, Rusty.
Yeah, Morgana and Shen is a very oppressive bottom lane 2v2. Shen always has kill threat and is one of the strongest 2v2 champions, so you're definitely going to be seeing that one go towards a support role if everything goes according to plan. Shen may consider going against the Kled. It's not a hard counter by any means, but it is hard to get the violent tendencies off, and that's a big part of winning lanes for Kled. So IG still have the capabilities of a flex, however they have to reveal that in the next 10 seconds.
They do indeed. It was Ashe at the end of the day right here. So it could be an Ashe Shen bottom lane. There comes a Mundo as well. So that definitely changes a couple things up. Expecting the Mundo to go into the top lane. Jungle, Galio into the mid lane. And a Vel'Koz, our first one of the LPL this split. Seen that one on the international stage. Excited to see it here today.
And we've seen it in the AD carry position, the bottom lane position, I guess. We've seen it from KT Rolster specifically as well. Deft to great effect actually playing that one. But in the middle lane, it will be seen into a Galio. So it's a long-range champion, a Bombardier against a close-range melee bruiser, and has got the cleanse to survive that one. Very curious to see how this goes, because if a Camille gets onto you, it is lights out for a Vel'Koz no matter which way you paint it.
Yes, indeed, though there is a way to outplay, and it's all on that tectonic disruption coming in from Vel'Koz. Though, as you mentioned, he doesn't really have a solid escape. It will be difficult for him, so this is definitely a bit of a curveball. Plus the fact that we had a first pick Kled, that's going to go into the top lane for the odd goon. Now, on this current meta, it's actually interesting to see a Kled go into the top lane, because as you mentioned, into bruisers, into tanks, Kled is actually not that great. He's actually fantastic more into those mages in the mid lane. That's why we saw Doinby bring it to the mid lane in Rift Rivals and before in the first couple of weeks of play here in the Summer Split.
I guess what's interesting about this Kled, you're right, it doesn't have the best top lane matchups. We have seen it kill Mundos, however, even yesterday. And we have seen it capable of doing a lot of good things. It's just that traditionally you'll see it get to one item before it actually comes online, and most other champions, if you hit one item and it's a Mundo against the Kled, you're pretty favorable to have a Mundo in your composition, right? But that's where the 5v5 does come into play. Kled, a massive damage-dealing bruiser that engages for you, as can their support in the Rakan. So they've got 2 engage options for the team. That means they can actually support even the Sejuani thrown into the mix. It's all about having a big, aggressive, forward-moving front line to enable the Vel'Koz and the Ezreal to deal their poke damage.
Now, Rusty, we've got to address the big void creature in the room, and that's Vel'Koz in the mid lane. Why would you round out a composition with Vel'Koz right here?
I mean, I'll be honest with you, I think Vel'Koz is one of the riskiest picks that we've seen at the moment. I would say that there are other options in the middle lane for certain, but for what the Vel'Koz can do, it absolutely shreds tanks. You can build the Morellos from long range, deal true damage and prevent healing, so that's always powerful. High team fight damage as well with the front line protecting you, and one of the biggest risks of a Vel'Koz is that you don't have mobility and that you are squishy. So if you've got all of those people that can stand in front of you, a front to back team fight style can happen, then you are sitting pretty if you actually can make that work.
Right, because the Kled right here looks like a backline disruptor with the Rakan, whereas when we see it from Rogue Warriors, they're just like, all right, everyone pick something melee. Karma, that's fine too. You can get in there as well, and we'll all just rush at the enemy. This is absolutely, as you mentioned, get to the backline, disrupt Invictus Gaming, try and take the fight to them. As you can see, Shanghai is a packed house to see Invictus Gaming off the back of Rift Rivals. Let's see if they can deliver right here today.
Couple of Galio-looking statues there, but there is one of them on the Rift in this first game as well. Rookie to be playing that one, and if you didn't see Rift Rivals, you
Go
might
back
have
and watch it.
Yeah, you might have at least seen the highlight reel that he was able to put together, Rookie, when it came to team fighting. And it's always with this dart skin. Of all skins, man,
this is the one he chooses.
This particular chroma is the one that gets me.
Which
I think
one's
the
your
skin
favorite?
Is great. I actually don't know any of them. I can't purchase it on the Chinese server,
Fair, but
so I don't
so you just
know.
want base? Is that what you want?
I just don't like the brown one. Something about it irks me.
Something about the brown one. Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe this one is the best of the litter. You wouldn't know. You haven't purchased it. So you're judging without all the information.
Absolutely.
Yeah. But no, I agree with you. I mean, Rookie had a knockout performance specifically in team fights at Rift Rivals. I remember his Aurelia play actually at that jungle that FPX will be starting at, and specifically the triple taunt up at the top brush above Baron, on Galio. So Rookie still great at team fights. You can't take that away from him, but he's back in the LPL, and we know this is a very different beast over here.
Certainly is, and of course you can see the runes on your screen, the keystones there. Rakan is the one that I would want to talk about, if any, right now. And of course Comet in the mid lane for Cool. So quickly, Comet, instead of Airy, wants to do a bit more long-range spell damage, won't be auto-attacking as much, but I personally think Airy is better for lane against a bruiser like a Galio. However, that is his choice, and it's something he's welcome to roll with. Unsealed Spellbook is interesting, but we'll hold that thought because Alex and Ning going at it.
And we'll hold that thought because in the bottom lane they're just going at it as well. Jackie putting down the pressure into this 2 versus 2, LWX and Crisp. The old shotgun not having a great time, but Rookie will push in the mid lane, look towards the top side, place down the ward, and just see right now that the red buff has been taken by Alex.
Yeah, Ning disengages, Rookie places the vision to get knowledge. He could have just placed it at the Raptors to see where the Sejuani went afterwards, of course. They were never going to contest that red buff, but nonetheless, they've got the information they need. Now, the Unsealed Spellbook is always exciting to watch because you never really know what's going to happen with it. You can change summon of spells on a whim after he gets to about 600 odd seconds into the game. And from that, he could do anything on the map. He could switch to teleport and suddenly appear in another lane, things that you don't expect. And that's what makes it amazing. It is actually the unexpected that makes it work so well.
And again, it's unexpected, but for us too, we don't even know what's going to happen in this game, so we'll have to see how he's able to utilize it through the rest of this one. Alex did manage to secure his red buff in the end, with an unsuccessful invade coming in from Ning. He'll go to the bottom side and secure himself a crab, and likewise Ning did the same on the top side. Now Alex, looking towards his next camp, should be either level 4 or very close to it after this camp. And bot lane, there is a potential for him to go down there and make something happen.
Yeah, there is. There's no vision from the side of IG on the bottom of the map either, so they should know that Sejuani's on this side, and you can see them bring the wave back closer to even, maybe play up a bit more and will continue to poke as their lane has to, but they've got a feeling that something spicy may well be happening. And Ning also hovering mid lane means that they have no information of where their enemy jungler is, and they know that theirs can't help them. So a bit of time bought from FPX.
It's rough because even at this stage in the game here, Rusty, it feels like there's just a little bit of spillover from the jungle and from the mid lane right here. Rookie pushing up, meaning that Cool has to take an unpreferential back timing, which means that he's not supporting. The jungle's going to the bottom side, bot lane, low health bars as well. So the gank doesn't happen, then Alex goes back to base for his first back, moves towards the top side of the map. That being said, Invictus Gaming looking for a setup.
The vision will spot them there if you walk past that, I believe, as well. This is a level 3 Camille and a level 5 Galio, but Crisp is just going to give it a face check.
Goes right in, flashes away back to his tower, and the AD carries thinking maybe he can come back in here, but Crisp is low, jumps back towards his ally Ning, not tanking. It's Baolan opening the door for him as he gets chased down by the Ezreal. Poor dive.
That was never going to happen. The second that the hookshot missed and the taunt was on cooldown, the dive was off. So they tried to use those cooldowns to catch Crisp before he could get to safety very early with the flash and the disengage. They'll be able to just walk that one out. IG, it's not a botched dive, but it was a dive that never really got a chance to happen in the first place.
Yeah, nice little attempt there. Nice bit of an EDG play coming in there. You know, not too long ago they were allies with Edward Gaming and Rift Rivals.
It's even earlier than the EDG play as well.
Yeah, well, they forgot everything about it. EDG were like, yes, we'd like to go bot lane with 4 players. And they were like, got it. And they said some other things, something about timing, something about composition, but IG didn't hear that. Maybe. They just heard go bot lane and Mahjong them.
And they definitely tried to play Mahjong, but failed in that case. But the bottom lane still has pressure from IG, and that's what matters the most, really. With that lane control, it frees up the bottom side river control where that Scuttle is about to spawn in 20 seconds from now. Rookie also getting closer and closer to 6. Will be ticking over shortly. You would expect one more wave after this. And once he gets to that point, I mean, it's a Camille Galio combo, and that's very impressive.
we've lost a lot of cannon minion gold over this game. Just from what we've been watching, I saw Rookie miss one, I saw Jacula miss one, and yes, it's earlier into the game, but it's something just to note that it's just a little bit sloppy coming in here. We get to see the runes as Gimgoon has just gone all in on the Shy in top lane. He's already activated the sadism. Alex is level 4, then Viva on the bottom side looking for gank number 2.
Oh,
there's the follow-up. Oh, double taunt coming in from Rookie. The setup was there from Ning. 2 kills to Invictus Gaming as Cool looks for the rotate.
And Cool has to be careful. He'll have to walk away and maybe not even able to defend that turret as he's level 5. So probably even pushed away from that FPX. They lose everything. Teleport's used to defend it. And that was a double stun from Ning, followed by the taunt. As there's another teleport. It should just be crisp.
Okay. Plasma Fission does not connect onto Jacula, so he'll just walk it off, go back to base with Bao Lan. And that time, second time's the charm for Invictus.
And it helps to have the summoners available, and the more importantly, the spells available. Alex is going to get both of them. Times that one expertly. Of course, the big difference, and I was hoping we would get the replay, was the hookshot landing from Ning and the taunt being available from Rookie. You will get to see that one here as Bao Lan starts it off, and try as they might to disengage. The Ezreal actually stands himself next to the Rakan, plants his feet, and that's the rare occasion where a Camille can get a double stun, not just the one.
Buy one, get one free. Courtesy of FPX's bottom lane. And Invictus Gaming will start this game off strong with those 2 kills. Where did it go? Both over to Ning, in fact, in the jungle. So we'll see if he can snowball that into an advantage in the jungle. We know Alex only just dinged to 5, as did Ning. So maybe he'll be able to put some more pressure down into the jungle now.
Definitely, we are getting level 6s up. And Ning having both of those kills with the slower early start that both respective junglers had will catch him up and put him well ahead of Alex when you look at the jungle, and that is the scariest thing of all. They didn't get that first kill on the top side. Mundo too tanky already, it seems, and able to disengage, and they've got the kills on the bottom side. They've got the lane control down there. I would imagine now that Jacula is 6, rinse and repeat the strategy until it works, and the turret goes down with it is the game plan.
And honestly, for me, I looked at this game and I was just like, are Invictus Gaming going to bounce back? Because this is multiple times now where they've been beaten down. You look at the end of spring where they had this insane split in the regular season, then drop games in the playoffs, and then you look at the team mentality, they look crushed. Similarly, even in the winning ceremony at Rift Rivals, you look towards Rookie. He didn't look happy. They were the ones who lost their game to the LCK. Then coming back into the LPL now, not just a few days later, will they be able to bounce back? So far, it looks good, but I just know in my tips, I tipped over to FPX and Froskier and said the same, though I think I have been Lannistered.
You have,
Froskier actually changed her picks at the last second without telling me.
The tragic betrayal of Froskieren's tip. So I won't speak too much towards it. I don't actually know why she swapped teams, but she's tipped the other side when she said that FPX could win this one. And that's always interesting, to the general statement there more so than anything else, that FPX could potentially win this one. It's something that is super curious to me, because I tipped IG. I never expected FPX to get a victory by any means, but there's always a lingering thought with both IG and, more importantly, FPX that they can win.
Here comes the hook shot, the guided missile combo. Cool, what are you gonna do? 3 members on top of you, flash forwards, technical sweep, and that'll be yet another kill over to Invictus Gaming.
And I don't think that's gonna stop. We said this from Champ Select Pulse. We said Vel'Koz, I mean, he's probably gonna die to a Camille Galio. It doesn't matter if Sejuani is there or not really to save him. Maybe that time there was a chance that it helped, but now that the kill is there, straight to bottom lane. No Camille ult, no Galio ult, no flashes available, but 4 members should just be more than enough.
Point blank on that one. He's still going to shoot up the old missile, but it's probably not long for this world, unfortunately. Unfortunate, and this is just 5-0 right now. Invictus Gaming running away with this early game, and it's just really nothing that bot lane can do for FPX.
No, this get absolutely smacked. They didn't have a mid laner. What they should have done is recalled or got away from the turret as fast as they can. A bit of a lack of respect, let's say, from the bottom lane of FunPlus Phoenix, and naturally, the shotgun LWX has got a lot of kickback with the plays he makes, and that's one of those moments, you know. They could be a very cerebral side, but it feels like everything hinges on Cool. And with him dead, shot calling changes, they overstay.
I feel like that's the point though with FunPlus Phoenix, is because we don't really know what they are. Like what type of team we are, do they have a style? I know, Rusty, you were telling me earlier that as Vel'Koz just skips through time right there, that they picked a lot of champions across the board. A lot of champions.
Yeah, they certainly have. I think this is his 12th champion played of the split, Cool, and I mean, that's a lot of champions considering we're 4 weeks in. the fact that that is a differing place, and like mid lane obviously is a big central point of team compositions in the first place, is always a curious thing to explore here. For me, I just don't know what their identity is. I think they're still discovering it, and they haven't settled on anything, especially in a meta like this. So ultimately, we have to see how they continue to grow. But in this game, in this particular instance, there's not a lot of growing that they can really show or do, as on IG's control they play.
I mean, that's it, really. It's all over to Invictus Gaming. The ball is firmly in their court. What are they going to do with it? That's the question in the next setup. We're at 11 minutes into the game, and they are so far ahead. This is actually still a perfect game coming in from IG. And then we do have to make them the protagonist of this story. You know, can they actually close in a timely fashion? We know they have this kind of ghetto lane kingdom where they have these lanes spilling over into the others. I know Fruskirin had her own term over at Rift Rivals.
We'll avoid that one. So Fruskirin is not going to use that as she pleases. But IG, you're right, it is Lane Kingdom. Lane to victory, and right now it's not even the Shy doing it. We came in today and him playing instead of Duke, we'd be like, well, there's a carry in the top lane, IG. Their whole identity shifts, and as a result of that, I was actually expecting growing pains, and if I was to give FPX any kind of advantage, it was that IG are trying to redesign themselves around the Shy, but he's a Mundo. They haven't even looked top lane. They've placed some vision, but that's about it.
Yeah.
And they're still hard carrying on the rest of the map, so IG look wonderful.
I mean, in fact, the Shy diffused a gank of his own. Remember, Alex came up there at level 4, nothing happened. He was just like, alright, I pop my ultimate and just run away from you. And that was everything burnt on that play. Likewise, play made in the bottom side in Invictus Gaming, that's where they springboarded from. But even in the summer right here, they have great stats. They've been doing well. They were one of our top 4 teams. In fact, all 4 of the top 4 teams in the LPL went to Rift Rivals, highest jungle percentage, goal differential at 15, CS differential at 15. It's everything is ahead of the clock. Even their average game time is
one of the lowest,
first in the league at 28 minutes.
I think their biggest rivals for average game time is LGD, but that's in losses for LGD.
Yes.
So for IG to be 5-1 and have like the fastest average game time right now is very impressive from them, and that is, I think you can call them what you like. I'd like to call them 5 Forgivens, and together they make IG.
Yeah.
As Lane Kingdom is the best way to describe them.
It is right now. Of course, the question mark is still over the Shy in the top lane, but so far he's on a tank and he's just doing what he needs to. Rookie pushing up in the mid lane, gonna plant cool in his feet, though right now Crisp is behind, looking for potential ultimate, doesn't have flash though. So low on resources FPX if they want to try and defend here, and that means that Invictus Gaming move upriver.
Ward. Hit it. Hit the ward.
And Ning is going to go to the red buff right here and take this one away. Alex is going to walk around the corner. He's going to be opened up on tactical missile once again. Alex, I want out of this one, but there is no escape. Goodbye, Alex.
No hope for the Sejuani, just going to go down. Red buff will be secured this time from Ning. Of course, the last one was contested by Alex and he took it away. And whilst Alex knew that there was something fishy going on, you can see that ward placed. Not even into the bush in time. He was jumped on too soon and just completely taken down. Alex may be regretting that he was there at all, honestly.
Maybe regretting joining the LPL.
I don't think he is.
Came in from the LMS, out from J Team, and had a great opening game, up against OMG 2-0.
They actually have some notes about that game, Pulse. It was that Alex joins, FPX 2-0 OMG.
Yep.
Alex plays Trundle. Alex has a tier. That's the only things I took from that game. I'm still not sure why he has a tier, but they won, and Alex didn't look by any means bad. It's just that now he's gone up a peg. He's against the higher caliber of team, and IG are really putting on a clinic, and we haven't seen Alex besides that death.
Unfortunately. And again, 6-0, that's another invade going well to Invictus Gaming. It's only that initial invade that didn't work out for them. And so far, it's just advantage after advantage, and FPX are slowly giving up ground across the board. Maybe this mid lane tower would be the bastion of hope you would look towards if you're a FunPlus fan.
Yeah.
But now that Herald has been picked up, you can probably bet your top dollar you know where that Herald's going to go.
So the one thing that you take here for FPX's solace of the fact is that there is a cleanse in mid lane, which is good against the Galio engage and good against an Ashe engage. Crisp has also switched over to cleanse with his spellbook from Ignite. So in terms of disengaging for the next couple of minutes, absolutely possible. However, the reason I mention all of this is that IG will plant their bottom lane into the mid lane now, and they will threaten with the Ashe arrows. They can threaten a Galio Camille going anywhere else on the map. So whether that's top lane outer turret, bottom lane inner turret, or the mid lane dive, the map is their oyster. They can choose to go where they please. But cool, he's still a Vel'Koz. He still has an abundance of wave clear. He still has the cleanse, so the Ashe can't kill him. And that means that mid lane outer turret may last for quite some time.
Yeah, so step one, get rid of his summoners, make a play. But FPX are here first. They have 3 members around the area, Ezreal on the backside. Of course, LPX will want to be arcane shifting forward so he can, you know, hit people with all those pellets coming out of that shotgun. But FPX know where Invictus Gaming want to be setting up for. Plus, Dragon is going to be spawning in 5 seconds from now.
And the thing that Cleanse cannot get you out of is the Camille ultimate. Once she actually gets that down onto you, you're stuck. Cleanse what you'd like, you're going to be locked down from a Galio shortly after. That's the difference maker here, and that's one of the riskiest places to be a Vel'Koz in. As you want to be behind. I mean, traditionally, right, Vel'Koz is picked into a Zir or something that is really long range so that you can outrange it and have that actual threat. Now he's against the Galio. In a 1v1 sense, yeah, you'll do a lot of work, but this isn't a 1v1.
Watching the Shy zone away Gimgoon right there. He's just trying to make it difficult for Gimgoon to find an easy teleport if they were going to go for a fight, but it didn't happen in the end, and he was even opening up space up there. And you can see that the farm is even, if not ahead, right here for the Shy. Ning just saying, hello, LWX, how are you doing? LWX knocks him down to half. And
yeah, LWX says, good, thanks, how about you? Ning runs away.
Gives him a banana, sends him packing, and Rocky will be there to meet him, give him a high five, and they're going to walk it over to the mid lane. Here's Alex over the wall here in the old chicken camp. Potential for a flank with that prison. And there's Shelly.
Shelly's rocking out mid lane. That's going to probably break this turret as well. They've already got enough damage on it, so one charge is all she takes, and that's all she wrote for the turret. Rookie also threatening for dives on the side. That's the thing that makes FPX careful, really hesitant to step up there, and they have to just give it.
They do. I mean, it wasn't a second charge. It wasn't the most value, you know, Herald that I've seen in my life, though it was still bloody damn good. Took out the middle outer turret right here, the pivotal point here for Invictus Gaming to now push further into this jungle. And topside tower, not long for this world. Gimgoon will have to be evacuating his premise very shortly. Probably exit stage right on this one.
IG will be very happy that there's finally a combat Drake coming up as well. They've got 2 Oceans, which is massive in the early game. Their sustain will be pretty ridiculous, honestly, that they've got 2 secured at 17 minutes. So they're set up to succeed, and if they can get this follow-up Infernal Drake as well, they've just scaled on FPX. And the window of opportunity, the way into this game, the entry, FPX, almost non-existent currently. They require mistakes from IG, and really, they're staring down the barrel of some scaling on them at rapid pace.
Well, I have a potential way into this game. Now, I know you're a big fan of crosswords, Rusty, so it's a 4-letter word. The first letter is K, and the last letter is D. Likes to charge into battle and disrupt backlines.
You've given me way too much information. I almost don't want to say the answer now. However, I don't know how that is really an entryway into this one, Pulse. The charge is... Look, it's a good thing, isn't it, that he could use it, but what's it gonna... Like, who against, firstly? When there's a Shen ultimate that is now available to save someone. And really, what I'd be looking at is that Gimgoon gets into the backline past the front line somehow and gets a flank off maybe to disrupt them with a teleport. And then even, like, you're against the Galio that could save them and a Shen that could save them. I feel like you've named the one thing that may give them entryway, but there's no damage to follow that entry up.
You're not wrong. Hello, Ning is here by himself. Oh, get back here! Sit down! That's going to be an easy kill over to Invictus Gaming. LWX tried to arcane shift out of that one.
0 and 3. I think the shotgun is well and truly humbled now. Look, IG, they just get themselves the kill. Top lane outer turret is the place to be for them, and they should get that one pretty much for free. FPX trying in the middle lane to trade perhaps instead, but that snowball still continuing. Note that the perfect game still on board here for IG if they continue forwards in this current momentum.
Oh, an epic battle between Kled and Mundo.
Shy's winning.
And Kled moves away a couple centimeters and has disengaged using charge. So, there we go.
Personally, I would love if he yelled retreat or disengage instead of charge when it was away from champion.
I'd like to say for Sion, because he likes to yell cowards.
I actually would prefer if Sion just screamed in fear. It just
that
makes,
would also be good. Or just said coward, referring to himself. Now we see that a lot. Yeah, I would love if there was separate lines for that one, unfortunately. But yeah, let's go back to that point. I mean, like, that is a way, right? Like, theoretically, if you go in the cannonball, you've got the Camille jumping in with the Shen on top, plus Rookie's Galio, and then Jaculov is exposed. Maybe that is a way in. But ultimately, most of this team is a tank. and they deal damage at the same time. So it's a catch-22. Like, you also look at Vel'Koz, and it's like, yeah, he's got true damage, he's got percent damage, and he's very far behind and has a Ludens. So again, it just seems like all the ways into this game are just not viable for FPX. There's not enough in the toolbox.
Yeah, I'm willing to give you a solid maybe at best.
Okay.
You know?
I'll take it.
But really, there is no damage to follow it. And you're right, not only is Cool behind, but more so, like, think about the dynamics of a team fight. If he's not standing in the front line with an Ezreal, then they're not dealing damage, and it's just a Kled. And I don't think that's enough. If you wanted any other further indications that things are looking dire, note where FPX is standing and how they're trying to just camp in Fog of War to catch someone out. It's not an even footing game by any means right now. There's a whitewash.
When in doubt, cheese them. And I think that might be what FPX needs to do. You know, sit in Fog of War, as you just mentioned. But you need to pull like an OMG. You need to sit in that brush for like a solid 90 seconds. You just got to like wait there for a long time.
He saw him walk that whole way and chose not to. I admire that.
Restraint.
Oh god, it's still
self-control.
Oh no!
Don't do it again.
Go back to Cool.
Go back to Alex.
The hunt is on. Oh, the taunt. Didn't see anything.
It's fine. Didn't see anything at all. Smile and wave, boys. Invictus Gaming just clearing out this jungle, taking away all the vision. Strangle holding this one. As Chris is heading down into the mid lane once again. And you can tell, ladies and gentlemen, this is a Baron setup at 22 minutes. Gimgoon in the bottom lane with teleports, a piece on both top laners. But Invictus Gaming completely control the area.
Yeah, IG definitely able to set up for Baron with absolute control. That's a lot of FPX's vision used just to get some kind of narrow vision placed. You can see where they're standing. That's as deep as they're willing to go. IG, they can choose. Do we want to hit the Baron? Do we want to kill them? And realistically, with a Camille Galio, you want to kill them. And you want to get at least one of them down, get a numbers advantage, and then use the gold lead you have to make up the difference. But look at how afraid FPX are. I don't think they'll even check the area.
Third cannon missed that we've seen this game. Invictus Gaming will walk into the jungle, take away the control. Well, that was just freshly planted from FPX.
And they've got one left. And that is in the pockets of Rakan. Yep. And then they're staring at 4 control wards in the whole area to navigate before they even get to it. I think there's supposed to be a free Infernal Drake during all of that time.
The fact that like the only thing I can criticize Invictus Gaming for over this game is the fact they've missed 3 cannon minions really says something about how well Invictus Gaming have been playing out this game. Yes, there was a botched invade, a botched dive at the start of the game from Invictus, but right now, still a perfect game. This is about to be... Oh!
Nah, I got it.
No, this is another dragon over to Invictus Gaming.
25 gold
towers
in the pockets of Nick. Yeah. He's feeling real good about himself. It was close, but close doesn't secure the Infernal Dragon.
Was that right? Blind as well from
it had to be.
Yeah,
he doesn't have vision of anything.
That's true. Yeah,
it's pretty much 5 Lee Sins right now on FPX.
Because that was perfect timing out for me. If that was a early smite coming from Ning, it would have been gone. So.
Yeah, definitely. I mean,
Not to be.
That's a silver lining of an absolute disaster right now. The perfect game's still on. You mentioned 11 minutes, and I was, you know what? I'm not going to give the words perfect game time of day. That's how I feel about that phrase at 11 minutes in the game, because it's the LPL and things will go wrong. You just don't know when or where, but you know that it will. However, 13 minutes later, nothing's gone wrong. IG still actually looking at a perfect game, and now it's a very real possibility. And the gold league creeps up to 7k.
I mean, it almost feels like a nature documentary, to be honest, because we haven't had any like full-on fights. We've had maybe a couple skirmishes, but it's mostly been picks over to Invictus Gaming. I want more blood in this game for the crowd at the very least. There's 500 people sat in this audience, and they're just like, can you fight, please?
You know those salmon that go up the waterfall and the bears try and like snatch them?
Yes, jumping salmon. Yeah.
That's what we're looking at, but the salmon haven't started jumping yet.
Right.
They're like baiting them in the edge of the waterfall. They're going to jump up soon, and that's when IG will just like snatch them up and eat all the salmon.
FPX or the salmon?
Yeah.
And IG are the bat?
Yeah.
Right, okay.
Well, the 5 bears against the 1,000,000 salmon.
And what's the waterfall? Is that Baron? Or is this the lead up to Baron, the ramp maybe?
I'd just say the vision.
The vision.
The whole area to the Baron is the waterfall.
Okay. All right.
You made it way too literal. I was happy with it.
No, I need clarity on this, Rusty. If you're going to paint a metaphor for me, then I need to know exactly where everything is.
You should know by now that my metaphors are horrendous and you have to roll with them.
No, that's why I like to dig deeper, because I know you haven't thought them out. So I want to see you figure it out
Stop
as you go.
yelling Skull!
Yeah, he's gotten skulled back way too many times. Oh, I feel like a cannonball's happening.
Oh, LWX.
Goodbye to the shotgun.
Good night, Sleep Prince. He has been put to sleep. IG will get themselves a kill. Top lane inner turret also the focus now, and bottom, they're just winning the game.
Yeah, I'll be
They're just
honest, I would have been happy if we just didn't pan up to the top lane. We just saw them all use their ultimates at long range with the globals, and we were just like, alright, to be continued.
And a mid lane turret all the same.
Yeah, Jack by himself, by the way, pushing up the mid lane, 3 members on the top side. You've got to do this, FPX. Well, hello. What's going on here? Gimgoon is committed, but the rest of the team does not want in. As a teleport being cancelled out from IG, they don't want in either because they're just winning across the board without having to fight, just getting picks left, right, and center. And the Shy's like, alright, I guess there's no one here now because Claire's mid lane, so I'll take the bottom lane inner.
Yeah, wherever FPX are not, IG are taking a turret. And right now, the Shy, I mean, disregard him. He's level 16 with an ultimate. He's not really here to tank the turret and risk his health. In fact, he'll probably heal more at the end result from that. IG now step up to the Baron. 3 of them, not even Rookie. He's going to zone them away.
I mean, FPX, they know that they need to make something happen right here, but Rookie will be the defender, the gatekeeper of Baron, going 1 versus 3, and actually hasn't taken any damage yet.
The rest of IG show a lot of respect and they do back away, but really, he was fine. Rookie's super tanky.
Oh, he's all good. The Shy was also pushing up the bottom lane tower. And that's also down 6 towers to 0 now. Invictus Gaming only the last line of defense to crack, and that will be the inhibitors. Invictus Gaming are guarding that waterfall.
I don't envy the role of giving out MVP in a game like this, you know?
Well, who would you give it to? It's probably
give it,
Ning.
It'd be Ning that probably gets it, but really it's just IG are winning the game.
He's not a player, is he?
Ning and Rookie as a combo is the MVP right now, but more tempted to give it to LWX. For being out of position a lot, and they're catching him out. And this is one of those things, like I give MVP to Wards. I actually think the Wards from IG as a team is the most important part of this game that has given them success.
There you go, man of the match. The humble green ward.
Oh no, the control ward.
Oh, the control ward.
Yeah.
All right, I'm sorry. The humble control ward. MVP of this game.
He doesn't even know. He's not even sentient.
Can we get percentage uptime for the control ward? Well. Didn't even want it.
Nope.
Alex and Chris were looking at Battle. Nope. Don't want any of this, Shen.
It's not safe. They've got 1 bush. That is their bush.
Yep. You see Mr. Bond approach, 007.
There are many
nope.
like it.
Don't want this today. Mr. Bond's going to find a way out of that trap. And his buddies are going to come up and wreck us. So, not going to do anything at all. FPX need to find a way in, though. And they realize that it's basically 1 fight and done at this point.
The gold lead's still growing, too. Like,
it is.
Normally, you'd be looking at this, you know, like, IG, just hit the Baron, man. It's hurry up. You know, like
get us to game 2.
At dinner at 8, you just hit the damn Baron. But really, they're still finding goal. You know, they're still finding leads, and they're still strangling out their opponents very effectively. And really, it's to be admired that they've been able to do this for 28 solid minutes without making a single error that has been capitalized on at all by FunPlus Phoenix.
They're about to surpass their average game time, so at the very least, they're only hurting themselves from this point onwards.
True.
But they will get themselves a perfect game if they keep going slowly. So it's, you know, tit for tat.
I'd say it's pretty redeeming.
Yeah.
Have a perfect game if it goes longer than your average game time. Plus, it's an average. There's games that go longer. It's game 2, you know, finish in 20 and you bring it back down.
Ah, that's true. Yeah, it's a series. It's a series thing, yeah. Gimgoon has actually just completed his second item, which is the Titanic Hydra and Black Cleaver, rocking a solid 0-0-0 scoreline. And with the Executioners calling for the side lane, he picked that one up in laning phase, also picked up a perfect timing. So very much aware that the next fight will be the one to decide the game here between both teams. And Ning, he's hungry for something.
He's got a GA.
He does, so going to put it down into the 10 count. But here comes Rookie. Oh, Jackie Love just assassinates Chris. Didn't expect that one to happen, and Ash coming in there. Cool getting chased down by Ning himself, but he's low. Don't die, Ning. This is the perfect game. He's going to execute his 1 versus 1 opponent as Gimgoon looks to get Skull back. Backs away to pocket pistol, and Skull will lead him to safety. But LWX running away from the Shy, who is full health, running in the enemy base. Gimgoon wants to go back, but oh no, there's a Mundo on me now. What do I do? What am I going to do? Oh, I'm going to trade with him because the Shy no ultimate now. Maybe I'll kill you. I'll destroy your perfect game.
We all know it's not happening.
He's waiting for his violent tendencies. If he has violent tendencies up and gets dismounted, he can actually win this fight. He's going to chase after, follows with the Q.
We all know it's not happening.
LWX behind him as well, chasing down the Shy. 50 seconds left and ultimate has... he's got Warmers back.
So that was probably the most exciting thing in this game, was the Shy having fun and almost being in range of dying, but not dying at all. Baron secured by IG as well, and perfect game still continues for them. 30 minutes in, 11-0. and a 16,000 gold lead without the base even being broken. We're getting close to like gold lead records at the end of a game.
We are indeed. I mean, honestly, Gaming, just do it, man. I know you're waiting for Van Tendency so you can dismount and get the 4 proc plus the pocket pistol, which is an instant remount on Skull, by the way. Got that fact from Clement Industries. But just go for it. Just rush at your opponent. You have faster movement speed. There's a potential for you to keep the Warmogs off cooldown, and you break the perfect game because we're 30 minutes in. And yeah, we have a 15,000 gold lead. Baron's just being picked up, and surely that will be the biggest nail in the smallest of coffins that I've ever seen.
You know, there comes a time when you're so far behind that really your decision-making tree is, you know, what do I do when 10 game behind, right? I can sit there and I can wait for my opponents to make a mistake, and then we have to play perfectly, of course, to get the kill, but we can still wait for that mistake to happen. Sure. With a team like IG so far, they're not even making mistakes, but they are getting incrementally more and more confident, and there's a time where perhaps there's overconfidence. So I'm not sure exactly what FPX are thinking. For me, when you're this far behind, you can probably afford to play overly aggressive and make down-trending trades. Yeah. Because as long as it's a trade, it's still something that you're gaining. But in this case, I think that they're opting towards the opposite side of that coin, where instead of forcing things, they are hoping IG make mistakes, and really they're not making mistakes.
Oh, it's kind of chipping away. Top tower goes down to the jungler opening, who was 7-0 and 2.
Alright, there's like a minute left. Who's gonna die?
Oh, it might be the Shy. Can I bet on him? Oh no, he's just gone into the perfect timing in the base, and that it was.
So who's gonna die?
Alright.
From IG.
Thing, maybe.
Right,
oh, he's just killed the mid laner by himself. Here comes a cannonball right on top of him. Goes in for a bit of a dive there, and that's going to be 2 kills to Invictus Gaming. FPX scram back to their fountain, and the Shy just running rampant in the base.
Yeah, Cleavers at the Nexus is about the game here for the Shy, and for the rest of IG, it's about ending as easily as they like, still pushing forwards, but FPX sitting in the base. They're done.
Cleavers at base sounds like a great band name, but the gang's all here. Invictus Gaming onto the Nexus, and there it is, 32 minutes, and it's a perfect game to Invictus Gaming.
Squeaky clean performance there from IG. You can't really fault them for anything at all. The Shy comes back into the side, and they're not contested, they're not threatened. Nothing really at all from the side of FPX. Like Ned Flanders on a snow trip.
We already had that reference today, and we actually had Flandre play on the top lane, so as Professor Oak would say, now is not the time to use that.
2-for-1 special.
All right. We got one of those in the bar, man, that double knock-up from Ning. Whew.
We got a lot of good things from IG, and to be honest with you, man, it was slow, it was clean, it was methodical, and very calculated from them, and they just suffocated FPX into submission. Not even a chance to fight, not even a chance to use a Rakan, Kled, and a Sejuani, 3 massive engage tools in a team composition to engage. It just never happened.
Have you ever seen a smoother graph in your life, Rusty? It's almost a line graph.
That's pretty solid.
Yep.
I'm a fan of that.
Perfect. Coming in from Invictus Gaming in every sense of the word.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's pretty much it, to be honest. I mean, FPX was kind of rolled over and died. They looked for a couple opportunities to jump in. Gimgoon rushes towards them in the mid lane. Everyone else pulls out immediately, as Gimgoon is still committed. And that was pretty much it.
Yeah, the Shy even topping the damage there for IG, but don't be fooled, he was hitting a Kled the entire time, so it's a bit inflated from the 1v1 matchup. The Jackie Love actually did a significant amount, so that is something to be commended here from IG. And you'll notice that even though Ning and Rookie have less damage than their respective people around them, their combo was what won them the game, what started the snowball, and this is a combo we saw from IG at Rift Rivals. This is a combo that I am very surprised we saw getting through the draft and then picked by IG without being taken away, and then it just successfully wins, and that's very simple for them to execute on. We've seen it work from them in the past.
I mean, you open up the textbook of how you want a cannonball composition to work, and right here is this game from Invictus Gaming versus FPX. So if anyone wants to know how this composition is meant to work, it's exactly this one. Well, that's going to do it from us. I'm going to send it over to the analyst desk to take a look at that perfect game 1.
Thanks, guys, and it was an absolute shellacking coming out from Invictus Gaming. FPX tried to hold on as long as they possibly could, but that's all they could do. Not a single kill went to the FPX squad, not a single major objective taken either.
Yeah, it was rough. It was rough for FPX. I think a lot of people face Invictus Gaming's rough early game, but then that's a good example of the confidence that they would have pushing forward their vision control when they have the pressure being placed down. So a lot of teams are like, all right, let's actually just build for late game. Hopefully we get to that point. But IG, we even showed a statistic within the game, really early game times, 28 minutes off of that one. And it's even better this split. So yes, that's what happens in FPX going in game 2 with that in mind.
Almost feels like IG slowed it down slightly towards the end there to make sure they could clinch that perfect game. But I really want to take a look at the early skirmishes and the early dives that we saw coming out from Invictus Gaming, because every part of this game was very clean, all the way from the initial setup to the final fights.
Yeah, the execution was proper and the setup was even better. So Vel'Koz, I mean, sure, he came in late, but there was no way for him to come in earlier than he should have, because the dives were guaranteed. Camille followed up with the Galio, didn't even need to utilize his ulti. In fact, it was just going towards the mid lane most of the time, where Vel'Koz was taking the brute force of it really early on. So Vel'Koz is going to be slower to go to the bottom lane, because now he has to deal with the tempo advantage that Galio has pushing up mid lane wave. So obviously Vel'Koz ain't going to have teleport, so he's going to have to, I'm not going to say walk, what does he do? Flabber all the way down to the bottom lane.
They tried to, but the combo that Rusty was talking about, Ning as well as Rookie on the Camille and Galio, was just a little bit too difficult to stop. And eventually got to the point where IG could pretty much do what they wanted to with this combination to win the match. Even to the point where Ning died didn't die a couple of times, had GA popped a couple of times and was still able to win the fight.
Yeah, you don't even have to touch Baron at this instance. As long as you go in towards red side jungle, have full vision control, what is FPX going to do? They have to check it. So they keep walking into a Camille Galio combination with a Mundo who's just trudging along. So 100%, it was a perfect game for a reason. The vision control that you had was so strong that FPX, at their best look here in this team fight, have no chance up against the IG.
This was their one chance to try and pull it back to their favor. They take down Ning, get his Guardian Angel gone, but even off the back of that, they still got chased down. There's a Dr. Mundo inside their base as well, making sure it's even more difficult for them to recall. Yep. He doesn't die yet, a Warmog's arm at the end as well. But just very clean, decisive play coming up from IG, and this is what we want to see from them when they go into cross-conference matches, playing against teams that are lower than them in the standings.
Yes, playing these kind of compositions, playing with that depth of execution, I think it's a really good look for Invictus Gaming. So 100%, a lot of people will look at this and just say, get Galio and Camille out of here. I don't want to see it in combination with one another. If you see a Galio, take the Camille away. If you see one or the other, that's the response. I say that the FPX composition is not that bad. I think it's very safe in the sense that they're just looking for late game scaling. So they're trying to push back on a lot of the pressure. The first step has to be protecting Vel'Koz. And immediately Cool going in towards the secondary tree of domination instead of inspiration, I think is an immediate worry, because you're going up against that much dive. The Shen on top of the Galio, on top of the Camille, is going to kill you, so you need a stopwatch, and not having to purchase it with 600 gold is nice. So Cleanse Flash is good. Add the stopwatch in there, you'll be even better.
Even then, it wasn't the lane that IG decided they had to attack. They attacked bottom lane twice. That's where they picked up their leads and used the snowball to try and attack the rest of the lanes from FPX side of the map. And that was what was crucial for them being able to pick up this victory. FPX, yes, looked like they had a late game composition that could fight back, but were not able to do so in game number 1. And off the back of his Camille performance, Ning picks up MVP.
Yeah, MVP performance out of him. And remember, it's all about that Silk Road. So the advantage that he was able to apply in the mid lane, 9-0 and 2, struck the mid lane hard, so he can lead Galio towards the bottom side of the map. So a really strong game from Ning. Of course, he needed this performance because coming into Rift Rivals, he's had some poor ones going up against RNG. So this is a good comeback for him.
Certainly is. They need to take the wins here, and they need to make a statement whenever they take these wins. The first match against FPX was won. How do they continue this domination going into game 2, and what do FPX have to do to stop it?
Prove to FPX that it's not about the draft. Prove that they can actually go with a scaling composition as well and still hammer home the major objectives of Baron and Dragon. So FPX, what can they stop it? Play cleaner and protect your mid lane.
Well, let's see if they can protect their mid laner of Cool, because Rookie was styling on people in that first match. We're going into a quick break. Back with game 2 in just a bit.
这个夏天 IG 有太多东西需要证明，请大家拭目以待。